Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. It's New Year's Day and we're going to have some cooked collards and black-eyed peas, and I'm going to make some thin cut little pork chops. They're probably not even ½ inch thick, a little more than a 1/4 inch thick though. So we're going to have those for lunch today, and I'm going to fry out some little biscuits in the same grease that I'm going to cook the pork chops in after they get done. That's when I'll make these little biscuits. So I've already got my burner heated up to a medium heat. Got my black-eyed peas are cooking. They have to cook about another 30 minutes. Now these are fresh frozen black-eyed peas, so they don't have to cook as long as the dried ones do. And here in the very back burner, I've got my pressure cooker going with the collards in there. So as soon as that comes up to pressure, I'm going to flip that over to probably the number 2 pressure and let it cook for 3 or 4 minutes. Alright, so let's get these pork chops on. Now all I'm going to do is just salt them a little bit. And I only salt them on one side. Now, I know that, some people turn them over and salt the other side, but I figure you take a bite and, you get the salt. So now I'm going to just coat them with some all-purpose flour and just kind of mash that into them a little bit so they'll have a nice coating on them. Alright, my skillet is plenty hot now, so I'm just going to mash the flour really into the pork chop. Surface here. So I just want to coat them a little bit. Now, I don't know if they do this in other places, but here in the South, people sometimes have these little thin pork chops for breakfast with eggs. I don't know if y'all have ever had that or not, but I used to have a neighbor that was always having pork chops for breakfast with eggs and grits and all that, which sounds good to me. I've just never had them that way. Alright, so just a thin coating of flour on the pork chops. And by the way, I did get these pork chops. These 4 cost $3.59 because they were buy one, get one free at Bilo. So I was very happy with that. So I got a couple of packs of them. And now after these get done, we take them up. That same grease and the little bits of flour that are kind of brown in there, I'm going to actually fix my little fried biscuits right in the same grease. Alright, 4 of them, and I guess we'll have 2 each because we don't eat that much meat, but I love these little pork chops. Alright, there they are. Alright, so I'm going to get my hands washed up, and we're going to let these brown, and I'm going to flip them over, and then I'll be making my biscuits in just a few minutes. So we'll be back. Okay, our little thin cut pork chops are done, and I've taken those up. These are what I call little squigglies in the pan. And by the way, in the background, if you can hear the football game going, it's New Year's Day. And Mr. Bucky has reminded me that he's got 4 or 5 bowl games that he's planning to watch. So that TV with the football games will be on all day and into the night. So, but it's okay because I'm going to watch YouTube videos. Alright, so I'm going to make some fried biscuits. This is about 1.5 cups of sifted self-rising flour. Let me turn this up so you can see over here. Alright, to this I'm going to add just a little bit of vegetable oil, maybe a couple of tablespoons, and I don't really measure this. And this is whole milk buttermilk, and I warm it up in the microwave so it's just barely warm. So I'm going to dump probably, I'm going to guess and say ½ a cup into that 1.5 cups of flour, and just use the whisk and mix it up quickly. Alright, now do it right there. All right, now I'm just going to drop some of this down on the little bits that cooked off the pork chops. So that's some flour and whatever that cooked off the pork chops. And come right on top of those. And they've already started rising because I warmed up my buttermilk. These are just little teeny biscuits. Right on top of those little squigglies, I call them, that come off the pork chops. And I just got this, it's really on medium-low heat. But of course once I started it was good and hot, so let's see if we can get one down in there. Now my daddy used to fix this, only he would just make it one big cake in the pan. I like individual little biscuits like that. All right, so there's all of them. All right, so we're going to let these cook probably about 10 minutes, and then we'll flip them over. Well, probably 10 minutes total. Anyway, we'll be back when these are done. Okay, our lunch is just about ready. The black-eyed peas are done. And of course we've got jasmine rice, that's done. Our little fried biscuits that were fried in the little stuff that comes off the pork chops when you fried them, those are delicious. And of course we've got our collard greens. There they are, and I only fixed enough just for 2 servings today because I wanted to save the rest of them for smoothies. And the other thing that we're going to have today is some of this Jake and Amos peach salsa. And this is some that Mr. Bucky got off the internet. I would have never paid what he paid for it. But anyway, it's quite delicious. So we'll have some of that also. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and plate this up and we'll be back in just a minute. By the way, I had to turn my exhaust fan on because if you don't, the collards will really stink up your house. All right, so we'll be back in just a minute. All right, we've got the meal all plated up. Here are the little thin pork chops. The jasmine rice with the black-eyed peas. Now, I did season those with that light olive oil, and I did the same for the collard greens. So just a little bit of the light olive oil and salt. There's the peach salsa, which, by the way, goes really well with everything else. And here's my pride and joy, those little itty-bitty fried biscuits. I absolutely love them. Those are little bits that cooked off the pork chop. There's my plate. Oh, okay, we're really hungry now. Let's see, the time is 2:30. So we had our smoothie at 8:30. Let's see, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 6 hours before we got hungry. But now we are both hungry. There's our iced tea. All right, we will see y'all next time.